So, Momo, is it fair to say that in next 5 years, look 5 years, we were going to have a world where these diseases may not even happen, or we'll be able to actually cure them, not just suppress them?
I would say 5 years is unnecessary. I think we're going to be there much sooner than 5 years. I would guess in 2 years we'll be there.
Really? And what about the things like, obviously that I lost my dad to cancer. It's personal. I mean, do you think we'll be able to find the cancer, diagnose the cancer, to be able to reverse the cancer?
Yeah, so gut microbiome has been shown recently to be involved in maintenance and potentially cause many of the cancers. And in particular, pancreatic cancer was shown recently to be actually caused by the gut microbiome in a mouse model. And so in this particular case, specific members of the gut microbiome would travel up the bile duct into pancreas and then would essentially set up shop there and say, wow, there's plenty of food here. All we have to do is shut down the immune system of the person. And so those particular microbes are able to shut down the immune system in pancreas. And because our immune system patrols the entire body and kills cancer cells when they arise, this inability to get rid of cancer cells is what allows cancer to arise in pancreas. And so this is possibly a common mechanism for many of the other cancers, because there have been already publications showing that there is microbiome present in most tumors that have been sequenced. So this could be a universal mechanism that we can not only identify, but prevent.
So, Momo, so what I'm hearing from you is it could be cancer, especially pancreatic cancer. What are other cancers you think there may be a good likelihood that we'll be able to?
Colorectal cancer is absolutely for sure contributed to by the gut microbiome, so we are going to make good progress there. But breast cancer as well, ovarian cancer as well, and so uterine cancer as well. So we'll get to these cancers, but that's sort of the next tier of diseases that is going to take a little bit longer to understand and solve. So maybe for those, we're talking about 2 to 4 or 5 years.
So you're saying in the next 5 years, if you just look out, you feel hopeful for the humanity that there will be a day in 5 years where we'll be able to prevent or reverse cancer, prevent and reverse things like depression, diabetes, obesity, IBS, and even other chronic diseases, I suppose.
Absolutely. I think all of these chronic diseases, because there's no genetic component, if you studied, twins have been studied for all of these chronic diseases, and it's clear that the genetic component is not strong, all of these chronic diseases are likely caused and or modulated by the gut microbiome and our diet.
I'm going to ask you the two common things that everybody worries about as we start to get old: Alzheimer and Parkinson dementia, or MS. Are these a kind of chronic diseases that we have a shot at someday not having?
Absolutely, yes. So specifically for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, it's already been shown that there's microbiome activity in the brain that is likely causing the disease, or at least some portions of it. And so we just need to figure out what the mechanisms are and what pathways lead to this presence of microbes in the brain and lead to these diseases.
I mean, Momo, this is probably one of the most exciting field, if you ask me, because there's no better way to live a life than to be working on something that could, in the next 5 years, now you're not talking about even 10 years here, right? In the next half a decade, we could fundamentally change the way people are going to live their life without disease, a world with no chronic diseases.
Yeah, this is very, very exciting. So what's really exciting is that people who wanted to solve this problem 10 or 20 years ago, they simply couldn't because the technology wasn't there. And now, luckily at Viome, we have all the technology, both experimental on the lab side and computational, to actually solve these problems. And so we are going to solve these problems very quickly here, and we're very excited to be leading the charge.